Hello there. I'm not really sure how to start this video. I'm just sort of winging it. I can't really sleep, so I'm gonna do my best to get this one out without waking anyone up. I also don't have a specific script for this, so it might be very awkward throughout the entire thing. I apologize for that, but I'm new to this, and I can only get better. So let's just start. So what I wanted to talk about today is how I went no contact with my dad. It is a really, I guess, sensitive subject. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't mind discussing it. If anyone comes up to ask, I will tell them, the whole story, because it's not something that I'm ashamed of. It's embarrassing, I guess, to look back on all these sensitive things and, wishing things had gone differently. But at the end of the day, this is sort of like something that makes me, the person that I am today, I guess. For those of you who don't know or have never experienced something like this, going no contact basically means cutting off all communication. And people that go no contact with like a family member or anyone else in their life typically use it as a last resort after everything. What a lot of people don't realize is the toll that it takes on the person that is having to cut these people off. It's really depressing whenever you see the potential in someone and what your relationship with them could be, and watching it all fall apart is it's a really traumatic thing, I think. It just sucks, honestly. Just having to grieve someone who's still around, but knowing that you can't have them in your life anymore because they don't bring you peace. They don't bring you the peace that you need, and they cause chaos. And it's pretty different, I would say, than just blocking people, like blocking them on your phone, blocking them on social media. That's included with going no contact, obviously, but it's the complete lack of any sort of anything. You don't see them, nothing. And a lot of people, I think, have trouble really sticking to their guns about this sort of thing, because it is hard. It's hard, especially when you care about someone. When you love this person and you want to see them do good things in life. You want to see them be successful, and you want to help them do that. So, onto a more personal note, my relationship with my dad. Before all of this happened, I feel like the majority... Okay, I'm going to talk about my childhood. I lived with my parents until I graduated high school. It was a lot. I plan on going into that more in future videos, or a future video. We'll see when I get there. But yeah, my dad, focusing on my dad specifically, because I still have a relationship with my mom, but I have cut my dad off, and they're still together today, so I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a bit. But so my relationship with my dad prior to all this, he was just like, I feel like I didn't really know the guy. I feel like he didn't really know me. I don't think there was ever a time when I felt like that. When I felt close to him, I don't think I ever have. Everything was always surface level, basically. You know the type. He never felt approachable like my mom did. I was a mama's girl, I guess, because, she had feelings. He did too, but he rarely ever showed them. All he would show was really just anger. Yeah, your typical white dad. Yeah. I remember he didn't really like my art. He would always tell me I should draw happier things and that I shouldn't trace. Well, when I traced when I was younger, because let's face it, all of us artists have done it. We've done it. Come on now. I feel like it's a very, very important time in an artist's life. He also, okay, a lot of folks will tell you how much they believe that spanking kids is beneficial, but it's not. Let's just look at the facts, people. It's not. It's really not. And it was really bad whenever we were really young and we couldn't really tell anyone this. Like, we couldn't go off and tell people what was going on because we were little and we thought that was the right thing that was supposed to happen. He would spank us with a belt. And he would, get one of those, one of the little, like a switch, like a stick that they found outside, But usually, I remember with him, it was a belt. And he would hit us on our legs until he left marks. And so that wasn't fun, but it happened. And we can't ignore that, but I don't think I'll ever get an apology for that. And my family still, tries to tell me that, well, okay, some of my family tries to tell me that wasn't abuse. The dude was also always yelling things, like yelling when he got mad, probably yelling when he spoke normally. I don't know. I was really scared of the dude. And for good reason. Some things I've heard make me wonder. He was always making sexual jokes, even though he has 3 daughters and had three young ladies that he was raising, but he continued to make sexual jokes and make fun of us and call us names and stuff like that. That wasn't fun either. That was pretty lame. You don't do that to your kids. I certainly won't do that to my kids. He was a pretty controlling guy. No, because I was told a lot of things relationship-wise from my mom, but, that wasn't something that should have happened either. But can't really go back and change it now. So there's a lot of stuff that I know that I shouldn't know, that I shouldn't have known, and it really impacted the way that I looked at the both of them. But, mainly my anger was probably focused on Dad because he would never back down, never hear us out. It was always pretty rough, pretty mean. He also, there was a time, and I guess it's just me being all biased, but I'll put more of the blame on him, even though my mom was probably involved as well. He bullied me on Facebook, and it sounded like him. So basically what had happened was they had the login for my old Facebook, and I put it under this name that was really weird, really silly, so that I could start over, make a new one, start a new life, run away from my past. But yeah, he logged into that and, bullied me on my Facebook, my new Facebook, because I had posted something they didn't like. It was a video, and it was basically me just trying to vent my feelings out through my art. It was pretty specific. You could tell who it was in the video, I'm sure, if you knew us, but I don't think a lot of people on my Facebook cared enough. Not a lot of people commented, other than my friends that I knew, to ask if I was okay and to tell me that they were proud of me and stuff like that. But yeah, they didn't like that, so I just remember getting hate comments on every single art post, and especially that one, telling me that I was a big liar and that I had a great childhood, great life. And I mean, some of it was great, but let's just be honest. It was traumatic. It was a lot that shouldn't have happened to a kid. It could have been worse. Don't get me wrong, it could have been worse. But yeah, it was, no. You don't do that, man. You don't act like that, especially towards your adult child. I mean, like, come on. We're all adults here. You don't have to hide behind the screen, bully me. If you want to talk crap, you can do it to my face, but no. He probably still would have done it to my face, but yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing, which would be the actual day that I decided that I was going to go no contact, because this part of the story is really important, I feel. A lot of people don't, they don't get it right. They don't remember a lot of things that I say because nobody else was there except me, my mom, dad, and my son. He was a couple months old, I guess, at the time. Still in his little pudgy phase. He was still a little dumpling. But yeah, I remember that day I had left my son with my mom to, so that I could go to work, because, yeah, I was the only one providing at the time. I'll get into that more later. I have a lot of juicy stuff for you guys. But, yeah, so I remember getting off work and I was going to come hang out for a bit, because I would let her keep him, I don't know, like every Thursday, I think. I don't really remember. But yeah, I was coming to pick him up and I was going to hang out with my mom for a bit, and I did until Dad showed up, and we were, I guess, on okay terms at the time. All the Facebook bullying and stuff had happened and just been kind of left to the silence, left in the darkness, and to never be addressed, because that's how Dad rolled. That's his parenting style, I guess, just to see how things play out. But he got home, and so, okay, another thing you need to know about me is I don't particularly care for dogs. I don't care about dogs. I don't like them very much. Don't really like any animals, if you want my honest opinion. And I know that's a very, very weird take, because the majority of the world just loves the things. Respect to you if you do, and you have a bunch of dogs. Whatever, that's cool, that's you. I don't like that. But I mean, it was my mom and dad's house, so I'm not gonna do anything about it. The only thing that I would remind them is just to keep the dogs out of my son's face. Just away from my son. Like, if he gets licked, just kind of wash him off. I'm kind of OCD, but I wasn't there during the day. I can't control a lot of that, so, whatever. I just really did not want them in his face. And they're pretty big dogs, too. Like, they have two pretty big dogs, okay? So, cool, whatever. But the thing was that before this day happened, my dad had disrespected me before by, letting the dogs get all over his feet, getting all over his hands, licking them, even though, my son would put his hands in his mouth because he was a baby. I didn't like that, but I was like, okay, well, it's fine if I can just wash off his hands and his feet, whatever. So, basically, back to that day, my dad comes in and gets my son, and he's holding him, whatever, cool. But this man, he sits down in a chair and lets the dogs jump up and lick all over my son's face. And I'm pretty pissed at this point. I'm like, I'm not having it. I'm freaking out on the inside, and I say something about it, I think, and he just kind of dismisses me like you know, it didn't hurt you guys whenever you were younger. And, well, it's not gonna hurt him. They're just giving him kisses or some BS like that. And I was just like, eyes rimmed with tears, ready to go off on this man. But I think that I left my son with him. And Mom, I guess. I just needed a moment to myself. But Mom decided to follow me. I don't really remember how it went down, but I know, see, we have this old trailer that we used to live in, off to the side of their house now, and I went over there, and I had some stuff that I was storing in it, because I didn't have anywhere else to put it, because I wasn't living by myself at the time. So I go over there, and I just go crazy, like kicking into things, because I need to let out my rage, just crying and screaming and kicking things, and my mom's looking at me like I'm freaking crazy, which, I mean, fair, but, it was the last straw. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, guys, so then, we head back to the house, and I was, I knew what I was gonna say. I had regained a little more consciousness since I had I flipped out. So that was good, but it's still, I was still very mad. So I remember going up to the dude, and I basically was like, calling him out on his BS, and he's just like looking at me like, what the heck are you talking about? It's not hurting your kid. You're fine. And I'm like, look, Dad, what did I say? I was all you have to do is just say that you understand what I'm saying, and that you're going to respect my wishes, and you're not going to let it happen again, and then you can keep seeing your grandson, and we can move on if you just do that. He was really, really pissed about it for whatever reason. I mean, it's not a tall order, honestly. But he goes on to rant about how it was his house and his dogs and yada yada. And so he was like, I guess by the end of it, I think that he was telling me to get out, probably because he loved doing that. He's done it a few times in the past. But yes, I looked at him with my son in my hands, and I go, okay, dude, you can have your house. Cool, whatever, I'm out. And I left, and my mom was probably an emotional wreck because, I don't know, I can imagine it's really sad to watch things like that happen between people that you care about. But, I left, and I didn't come back other than a couple times when I had to come back for my things. I didn't really interact with him much. But yeah, that was it. After that, I said no more, and I haven't technically been back since. Haven't talked to him. Nothing. So at the start, I felt really, really guilty because, I thought I was doing something wrong. I thought I was wrong with the things that I would hear from family members and what have you, because people love to say, oh, well, that's your dad, that's your parent, you shouldn't do that to them, it's not a big deal. I felt bad. I still get feelings of guilt sometimes, but not enough to want to, not enough to feel like I need to do anything about it, because I don't, because it's not my responsibility. I'm trying to protect myself. I'm trying to protect my kids from that. Yeah, but today I would say that I feel pretty free from it all. I don't have to deal with people like that anymore. I don't have to deal with him, and I don't have to hear it anymore. All the crap that will come out of his mouth. And I'm gonna keep keeping my peace. I still have a relationship with my mom, like I said. And I feel like sometimes there's a bit of a strain on it because, of course, she's still with the guy. She's still with him, which that's not my business. I really, at the end of the day, I want her to be safe. I've told her that I want to be there for her, and I'm here if she needs me, but I can't control what she does. I can't control what he does. But I feel like, I feel like there might be a little bit of a strain on, like, my relationship with my mom. I know she's hurt by it. I know she wants things to be fixed, but it's not something that can just be, snap, boom, here it is, fixed overnight. No. And it's not something that I have to do, again, because, I'm the daughter. I'm the daughter, and he's the father, and I did not do nearly as much as he's done to me. I think that he was hurt because I have called him names before, and I've been upset about things, but I think that we need to like take a step back and think maybe there's a pattern here. Maybe let me think why my daughter feels like this about me and why it's happened with my other daughters. Okay? One of my sisters is actually, like, she has a relationship with him now, which, cool, whatever. I can't control her either. I don't ever want to do that. If she's happy, that's great. My other sister, she is pretty much in the same boat as me. I think she goes around still, but, I'm closer to her because she lives closer to me and my family. So we talk a lot, but, yeah, it's probably really weird for the sister that does see him. Probably kind of, upsetting a little bit, but again, she can't control me, what have you. I don't think she cares all that much. She has her own life to live, which, great, cool, whatever. I think maybe there's a chance that I'll have a relationship with him one day, but probably not. Most likely not. I like to, see the best in people. I see the potential in him. He, surface level is a really good guy. If you look past all the things if I look past all the things that I know about him, he's very charismatic and, gets people on board with him pretty easily, but, stick around him long enough and you'll see. But, I don't know. My mom has told me that he's changed. I don't know because I haven't got a call, haven't got a letter, and, it's like the good old saying, if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to, he would, girls. I don't really, I don't really hope for it. I don't really hope for a relationship one day with him. It'd be great. It'd be cool. I wish I had that. But I'm not holding out. I'm not waiting around for it. I'm getting all of my life. I have my family that I'm building. I'm married now. I have another kid on the way. So that's fun. Very emotional right now. Yeah, I just want to keep my peace. I just want to keep my peace and keep on living. And maybe, I don't know what the cards have in store, really. Haven't read them in a bit. I feel like I've really done my part, for the relationship. I've gone back so many times to be there around him, I've showed up for different things, and I'm not going to go into specifics, if you asked him, I don't know, he probably wouldn't even acknowledge it, but I've gone back, I've tried. He hasn't called me to talk serious talk. We've never really had serious conversation because it always usually ends in a fight, and I don't have the time for that anymore. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is basically just if any of you out there are seriously thinking about cutting someone off or going no contact, no matter who it is, I really think that you should do it, and I support you. I think if it's something that's on your mind constantly, if you feel like you're being dragged down by someone, definitely get out of that situation. It's so freeing. It may be very, very sad at the start. It may be really depressing. It's going to be sad throughout your whole life, I'm sure. But I think it's worth it. to keep your peace, to get into a better situation, whatever will benefit you personally. Maybe you should, just take a little break from someone like that. And then reconcile, maybe talk to them if they're willing to talk to you. But if they're not, definitely, I would say go find your peace. I'm pretty sure that's going to wrap it up. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I hope that it wasn't too horrible listening to me ramble. I hope that you enjoyed my little art things and whatever else I end up putting in this video. I hope to make more videos soon about different topics, have more story times, and if there's anything you'd like to see from me, if you know about any of my art, maybe drop a comment. Yeah. We don't talk about my Twitter though. Okay, bye!